you that transportation is one of those industries which remain absolutely necessary in every aspect of life and the Jamaican economy. I'll say it again. The transport sector is integral to the country's ability to build a robust economy and deliver sustained economic growth. No ad hoc or chaka-chaka system will bring us prosperity. Public transportation, for example, Madam Speaker, is in the worse shape today than it was 2 years ago. In fact, public transport sector continues to be in decline and is almost broken. We continue to the JUTC is now in full decline, heading for a catastrophic crash, which cannot be blamed on the pandemic, but rather on poor public transport policies and inept management. I have to ask the question whether it is the intention of the government to crash. Overall, the company is down by a half in bus operations and by more than 2/3 in farebox revenue. Present state of affairs at the JUTC demands rethinking and reimagining. For any mischief, I mean an operational rethink in terms of the geographical service area, equipment, types of transit services, and how transit services are financed. The people of the KMTR, and indeed all of Jamaica, particularly transit-dependent commuters, deserve a modern and safe transport service. The state of our roads and bridges and other infrastructure and the lack of commitment to maintain and upgrade critical interior road networks remains a concern. There is a need for a comprehensive road maintenance policy to guide our approach to road maintenance. Our solution to the problem of long-term sustainable funding for road maintenance is to re-establish a road maintenance fund that would be independent of the consolidated fund. Yes, we recall that it was our current Minister of Finance who piloted a bill in this Parliament to repeal the Road Maintenance Fund Act of 2002. The Minister of Finance keeps reminding us that under his watch he has been able to find the resources to finance multiple infrastructure projects. I'm sure that he would not mind allocating some of the revenues to a road maintenance fund. We have to think outside of the box, Madam Speaker. We cannot keep doing things the same way. Any new legislation that may be contemplated as a solution to the establishment of the road maintenance fund should not include the direct involvement of the political executive. This arrangement with Jamaican taxpayers' money should not be accepted on the basis that Chinese contractor had already conducted feasibility analysis and preliminary works. The minister also defended the government's decision that Czech's involvement would infuse equity into the construction sector. What does that mean? I want to say at the outset, the time has come to rethink our national policies on urban renewal, housing and development. Government needs to focus on holistic development. Vision 2030 is a national development plan, not just a Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine and Portmore plan. There are over 60 pieces of land, housing and planning related legislation which have overlapping functions. With so many outdated laws governing land and planning matters, no wonder Jamaica continues to have land use and planning problems. How can a Local Improvement Act 1914, 107-year-old, or a Town and Country Planning Act of 1957, 64 years old, be the legislative tool to manage Jamaica's emerging issues in urban, rural, and land planning? Legislative reform is needed to improve the efficiencies in the planning environment. The opposition views urban and rural renewal as critical to social transformation. I want to remind this honorable House that crime is a multifaceted problem. It is rooted in socio-economic determinants. We cannot fight crime with only policing and restricting the freedom of our citizens. We must recognize that redesigning urban spaces have the potential to contribute to economic development and public safety. Every Jamaican should have access to housing, including every youth, working professional, women, poor, disabled, and most vulnerable. Capri, in a recent study, described the NHT as a non-pro poor policy. Further highlighted that high-income earners are twice as likely to get a mortgage from the National Housing Trust. I would like to make the following recommendations. That we create an urban and rural renewal framework that integrates best practices in sustainable development. Mainstream gender and community engagement in participation in the urban and rural process. Improve monitoring of multi-agency activities and program maintenance and the management of urban and rural planning projects. That we create youth-friendly infrastructure, such as areas for sporting activities, green spaces, and libraries in urban and rural communities. That we integrate information communication technologies in urban and rural renewal planning to address the gaps in monitoring data surrounding housing costs and prices in the housing market. And that we developed a comprehensive database on housing across the island to inform the implementation of a national housing policy.